Hello everyone. In this session we are going to discuss the return keyword, what is the use of return keyword and the different way of writing the method or function. Okay. And the last, that is the function overloading. Okay. What is return statement? Okay. So look at the definition. Return is a keyword. Okay. And what it specify? It specify the type of value which has to be expected to return to the calling method. Okay. That means the calling method invoked a method that is called as a called method. And what does the called method do? The called method calculate or solve the problem or find out certain result. That result need to be returned to the calling method. Okay, so calling method invoke the method, so he needs a result from the called method. Okay, and that result has to be returned to the calling method by the return keyword. Okay, now it is not compulsory to for the called method to return a value to the calling method. It may or may not return the value to the calling method. Okay, so when it's need to be returned the value or result to the calling method, then the return keyword has to be used. Okay, so when we are define the method, so the definition of methods include the data type, that is the return data type. What type of result has to be calculated and returned to the calling method, that return type has to be mentioned in the definition, which is already we discussed in the previous video. Okay. What is the main purpose of the return statement? The main purpose of the return statement to send back the result of the executed statement to the place where the call is made. Okay, so by the help of return statement, the called method return the result to the called method. Okay, and by the return statement, the control goes back to the calling method. Okay, where it is called or invoked. Okay, now some method also does not return any value, you know, and that method, what type of method it is? It is called as a void method. Okay. Look at the example for the return statement. You just look at here. This is the main method, which is the calling method. Okay. In the calling methods, you will look at here. In the calling method, that is the main method. That is the x and y value will be passed to here. Okay. And this x and y value will be goes to here 2 and 5. And this 2 and 5 has to be used here. And the result has to be returned to here again. Okay, that is the int result. Okay, so this return statement send the control back to here in the return result. Okay, and that result 2 plus 5, that will be 7 stored here, and then result has to be displayed here. Okay, so by this keyword return, the control come back to the calling method. Okay, and where it show the result. So what it return? It return the result. Okay, when the method invoked, the control goes to the called method. It is calculated. The result is calculated, and the result returned by the return statement here. Okay. Now clear about the return statement. One thing I want to tell you. If a function contains so many return statements, only one return statement will be executed. Okay, because when the return statement comes to the calling method, the program ended there. Okay, so if a program contains so many return statements, only one return statement will be executed. Okay. After discussing the argument and parameters, now you have to see the categories of method or function. So, categories of method and functions means how many way you can write the method or functions. Okay, so according to the way of writing the method or functions, we divided it to 3 types. So first, in the procedure 1, you see the first type, which is mentioned as a method with no argument and no return value. It is already discussed in the earlier session, so we don't have to go to the detail, just we have to see the main part. you see the method which is not having any return value, then what type of method it is? Void method. And no argument means the method is responsible to create its own data and the result has to be displayed inside the method. You see here the method, that is the sum method, parenthesis is empty means no argument, and void method means does not return any value, so it creates own data and the result displayed here itself. Okay, look at the main method, not need to return any value, directly only to invoke the method. Okay, now comes to the next procedure. In procedure 2, the method with argument no return value. No return value means the void. It is also already discussed. That is the argument int a, int b. That is the formal argument or formal parameters which is received the value from the calling method. That is the actual parameter value has to be passes here. Okay, so whatever the value, just look at here, that norm1 and norm2 value 10 and 20 pass to here 10 and 20. It is goes to the a and b 10 and 20, and this 10 and 20 has to be used 30. The c has to be displayed here as 30. Okay, so only here the data is coming from the calling method and the result has to be displayed inside the method. So that's why it is void method and the argument written here. So with argument no return value. The third one we have to discuss the procedure 3, that is method with the argument with return value. Okay, so method with argument with return value. So return value means the instead of writing void, the return data type we have to write it here int. Argument it is written here a and b. So whatever the value received by the a and b has to be calculated here, and the result c has to be written. So the control goes to the where? To the main method. Okay, to the calling method. Okay, so look at the calling method. So the control comes here, it is stored in the result. So when it is invoked, first the control goes to where? The called method, and there it has to do the calculation and the control comes back to the result. Okay, and the result has to be displayed in the main method. So here in the main method the result has to be displayed. So called method is sending the result to the calling method. Okay, by which keyword? The return keyword. So it is already discussed in the return keyword statement. Okay, so you understood this three way of writing the method or functions. One without return statement and without argument. Another one, second one is the with argument without return value, and third one with argument with return value. Okay, now we have to discuss the function overloading. In a program we can write more than one functions or method for different purposes, just like your calculator program. In calculator program we have written sum method and subtraction method. If it is needed we can write also multiplication method and division method in it. Okay, so in a program we can see more than one function or method can be used or can be written for different purposes. Then what is the meaning of function overloading? Just look at the definition. A function name having several definitions in the same scope, that means same program, that are differentiable by number of types of their argument, is said to be an overloaded functions. And the process of creating this overloaded function is called function overloading. Look at the another definitions. That a number of functions with the same name which are however used for different purposes. They can have the same name but their method signature, that signature is nothing but the prototype, definition or header must be different. Okay, such functions are called overloaded functions, and the process of constructing and executing them is referred to as function overloading. Okay, that means in a program we can write more than one function, but all the functions should have the same name. But how they are differ from each other? They are differ from each other by their prototype or definitions, or we can say the number of argument. Okay, Just look at the last line. The function overloading is implemented through the polymorphism. You know polymorphism is a principle of proof. So function overloading is implemented through the polymorphism. All of you know what is polymorphism? In the polymorphism, one method can be used for the different way. Like suppose if I are talking about the area method can be used for to calculating the area of a square also, to calculating the area of a rectangle also, to calculating the area of a circle also. Okay, so one area method having the same name but used for the different purposes like your square, rectangle and circle. Okay, so from the example we will be more clear about the function overloading. Now look at the example. In the example you are seeing this is the first method, method number 1. This is the method 2. Okay, and this is the method 3. Now this 3 method having the same name, sum. Here it is sum and it is again sum. Now you just look at these 3 method how they differ from each other. Here you have to see 2 argument. Here you will see the 3 argument. Okay, here 2 argument, here 3 argument, again here 2 argument. So this is 2 argument, this is 2 argument, but their data types are different. It is integer and it is double. Okay, now what these 3 methods are used? This first method adding 2 number, second method adding 3 number, third method adding 2 number but different data types. Okay, so what you have seen here? The 3 methods used in the program having the same name but their method signature or the prototype or the header are different. That with 2 argument, with 3 argument, with different data types. Okay, so their arguments are different. Okay, so this is called as a overloaded function and the process of executing these 3 functions is called function overloading. Okay, so now how it is executed? Now look at the main method. In the main method, the first method when it is invoked, that is the sum 20, 10 and 20. This is 2 argument and integer argument. Now it will be goes to the control goes to which method? The first method 10 and 20. Now it is added and the result will be returned to here. So 10 and 20 you just look at the output will be 30. Okay, now you just look at here, the output will be 30. Now the second case you just look at here 10, 20 and 30. How many arguments are there? 3 arguments. So it is goes to the second method. Okay, int x, y and z. Okay, 10, 20 and 30. Okay, so it will be added 10 plus 20 plus 30, that will be 60. The result output you just look at here 60. Now the third one is see double data type 10.5, 20.5. Now it will goes to the third method and added and the result will be shown here. Now you can see, you can say this 2 data type will be confused. No, the compiler will see or compare the data type of the method and according to that such type of method the control goes to that such type of method. Okay, so here we see how it is executed or how it is invoked and how the result will be displayed on the screen. Okay, so in the example what we have seen, there are 3 methods having the same name sum but the arguments are different. First one is the int x and int y, there are 2 arguments. Second one is the int x, int y and int z, there are 3 arguments. And the third last one the double x, double y, that is the 2 argument but data types are different. Okay, so 3 method with the same name but with the different data type, so that is called as a overloaded functions and the process of executing these methods are called function overloading. That's all for today. Thank you.